Oh, happy Friday, good people. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It feels like we were just together yesterday because we were. I am Pajama Christal XO tonight because it has been a long night. And this is Relationship Recap. We are discussing the Never Ever Mets. And as you guys know, every week I am one half of Relationship Recap. And the other half is, of course, Pajama Mo.
Bam!
Pajama Mo.
Pajama Christal. I like. See, that's what
Pajamas Christal XO. Yes.
Okay.
And this is my Lady of the Manor robe.
The what?
It is the Lady of the Manor robe. Yes.
All right.
I told you I was created to be a first lady. This is what you wear with a kitten heel with a furry top. You know, sipping on a little white wine.
I don't know why you trying to fool these people like you first.
Kane, every week we go through this. Every week. Y'all see how my dog disrespects me? Just disrespectful. Just disrespectful. Oh my God. Oh, how was your week, Mo? How was your week?
4 days felt like 5. But we're here.
Man, can I tell you what I did today?
Please.
I hosted a dance audition for TLC. They're going on tour.
Okay.
They're always on tour, but they're going on tour this summer.
Right.
And they wanted new dancers. And we held dance auditions at Dance 411 all
I know that place.
day. I saw over 300 dancers.
What does the audition consist of? It's like a short minute section. They all in one group. Call and y'all just pick. How does that work?
Just disrespectful.
The people disrespectful.
No, I mean Kane was disrespectful. He just went out. He just came back in. So what it consists of? Go out. Go back out. Go. What it consists of is dancers sign up, they come out, they bring their headshot. Now, if you're a professional dancer, right? You're a professional dancer, that means you know how to catch choreography quickly, right? You got to be able to pick up choreo super quick. That's part of the job, right? Like back when I was in my cheer days, you know, you get an 8 count taught to you, you got to be able to go through it, pick it up. So what happens is people come in, they check in, get a number, get a name tag, put your name tag in a place where we can capture your name. And then we break them into groups of 10.
Okay.
5 in the front, 5 in the back. Now, for those of you that were cheerleaders like myself in the past, y'all, Kane is disrespecting me, Tina Bree. He's disrespectful as heck. But they came in groups of 10. I split everybody into groups of 10. 5 in the front, 5 in the back. Now, for those of you that did cheer as I did or danced in college or high school, you know that you have to stagger yourself, which means you get into like windows. Got 5 here. My other 5 are going to be here. It's very simple. Very simple. But to me, that should be like common sense if you dance. It wasn't simple. It wasn't simple. They were on top of each other. It was all types of things going on. So then Chili, because T-Boz wasn't there today, so Chili would teach them a piece of the choreography, go through it twice, follow, and then you try it on your own. So you have to be ready to dance, to do the choreography right then. So she's going to go through it twice, once straight, once with the music, pick it up, once all together, and then now you audition. Probably a hook, maybe the whole hook, right? So I think this, and I could be wrong, and you let me know what you think. If I was auditioning for TLC, I would have learned all those dances. I would have looked at video on YouTube, and I would have known the dance to Creep, to Waterfalls, to No Scrubs. At the very least, those are the big hits, right? There's a lot of songs, Digging on You and all these songs, but I would at least have known the choreography to the big, big hits. I felt like this generation has a cheat sheet
that they don't use.
They do not cheat. Am I crazy? Yeah, am I crazy? She wouldn't have had to teach me the Creep choreography.
That's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all was having a twerk contest, or if y'all was having what's it, boots on the ground, like, they would know that.
But no boots on the ground.
But for them to actually go out and research when they have the information at the tips of their face.
You don't even have to research, you just pull it up.
But that is research. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you ask them about anything, even the stuff that they're into, unless it comes to them, they don't know. And I'm like, y'all have everything, but don't know nothing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought that was crazy to me. I would have researched, because again, when we researched, we had to leave our home. We had to go to the library.
My point.
If I could research by just tapping in my phone, and they just did a show. Anyway, 300 people, lots of fun. I'm tired. But it did prove that, a lot of young people do love good music. And I do think the music of the 90s is definitely got to be the best generation, because all the young people know the music, and they came and they were excited, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a long day. Y'all let me know in the chat, would you have taken the cheat sheet? I feel like that's a cheat sheet. I wouldn't have needed any coaching on that dance. Now, how to put the spin on it, maybe get the technicality down, but the general motion. Am I crazy?
How long from the announcement of the audition to the audition?
A week.
That's enough time.
That's more than enough time.
Dance a day. You see what I'm saying? That's getting it past, learning it, and practicing all day, then move on to the next one.
Well, and if you're a dancer by trade, you got to know how to do it. Oh my gosh. Yay. Hi, Alicia. Yes. So I don't know. I'm a little, but we had some interesting dancers. But I tried to be their pep. I tried to, get them pepped up, because that's another thing. Wait a minute. As a cheerleader, I know you have to dance full out every time. When you're auditioning, you don't mark it. You go hard. You give energy. Anyway, y'all, I'm telling you something. Chili had more energy than the young people. I was like, you're 21. You ought to be bouncing off the walls.
It's a different, unfortunately, it's a different time, man. It's not the same. I don't know why. I'm just assuming we have access. They have access. I had this conversation today. They have access to everything, and just the energy, the enthusiasm, and they just become handicapped to the fact that they have they don't, you know what I mean? Like that
I don't want to sound like the old lady.
But it is.
I don't want to sound like the auntie. But I'm just saying, man. It is. Hey, let me tell you something. Denzel Washington said, I'm just saying, I'm moving on to Never Ever Met. But if I had, you know, the opportunity to do a scene from Devil in a Blue Dress with Denzel Washington, I would have known all my lines. I mean, I would have been quoting all kind of lines from The Mighty Quinn, everything. Mississippi Masala, Malcolm X. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. I'd have been doing it all. I'm just saying.
I need you to move on from Denzel. Move away slowly. Move away.
All right, my honey bunny will be home soon. All right, we got to talk about the Never Ever Mets. We had a good conversation yesterday. Yeah, Alicia, I don't have the young knees, but they did not. Obviously, these young people didn't have them either. Marriott says, please move away. Okay, I'm moving away. I'm moving on. I'm moving away. Okay. All right, Never Ever Mets tonight. Can I just tell you my honest opinion?
Please.
I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I'm really disappointed in this show. And I'm being dead serious. I was playing a lot in the beginning, but I'm being dead serious. I'm very disappointed in the fact that to get ratings, they keep putting these people in overtly sexual situations. I thought that first exercise was disgusting. I would not have done that even as a married woman. My husband and I are not mimicking intimate positions for a crowd. Not doing it.
That was I was a bit much. I'm not gonna hold you.
It was disgusting.
And especially even for the hour that was on this 8:00 p.m. on the East Coast when it aired, earlier times in other places, and I just felt like it was that necessary? No,
because we already did. Y'all see how these dogs disrespect my time. Sugar Pie, get in your bed. Sugar Pie, get in the bed. Y'all see she is not with the puppies. She's not with the puppies. Get in the bed. But yeah, I thought the intimacy so quick was disgusting. I feel like it is trying to capture views by not really. I feel like what really captures viewers, and you guys can let me know what you think. What really captures viewers, in my opinion, is the conversation. The conversations. I wanted to see more conversations between the couples. I don't want to see them gyrate on each other and all that. Like, I don't want to see that.
I don't mind it. I just think it's too early. They're getting to know each other. Why put them like that? Could be like the last exercise when you build up. They literally just met each other last week. Relax.
Hey, May Willpool, come on. Yes, they did that last season and it was a bust. They did, but they created a situation where anyone who has triggers is going to be triggered. There are people that date for weeks, months without being intimate, as we should.
It's very irresponsible on OWN's behalf or the production's behalf, which is essentially OWN because they hired the production, is because there's a woman obviously that has some comfort issues, right? And if you know that, then why even go in that direction?
Well, I feel like with anybody, I feel like anyone that I have been talking to, because there's two things with this equation, right? The first is I have not been intimate with him yet, and so I'm putting myself in a position. And these weren't just because you can have intimacy that's like sitting close, hand holding, looking into each other's eyes. This is not that. You're spread eagle. Seeing your flexibility. I mean, it was too much. And Mo, you okay?
Yeah, I just had a view of some people that I didn't want to see.
I don't want to see anybody in those positions.
Other couple, and you're competing on who can get the position right.
That is it's beyond lame. It was inappropriate. It was inappropriate, in my opinion. I feel like it was extremely inappropriate, and it's just to try to get people to feel uncomfortable.
Because they got their parents watching this show. You know what I mean? Possibly kids. That's yeah, that's
Because then what it does is it makes show, it makes some guys show out, do extra. Whereas nothing.
The brother did.
Exactly, but it had nothing to do about his attraction to her. At this point, he's trying to win the competition.
There it is.
He's trying to seem like the coolest dude. Clay and Chris. I thought Chris, him having her, holding her up like that. Thank you, baby. Thank you, honey. It was inappropriate. Mo Catching said Kiki was spread wide eagle. She did. Mo Catchings.
I think they knew what was happening or something, because they were all the women were in tights.
Well, last time they were all in tights.
I think they tell them that because you had to. There's a lot of I was uncomfortable watching certain stuff.
I was uncomfortable as well. I was really disappointed in OWN. Like, this is not. I don't want to drop low and get my eagle on like that. Like, that's not the place or the time. I didn't like it.
We're already. It was a bit much, and it was too soon, way too soon.
I don't think there's ever a time. That is not a game. I was just thinking, like, my husband and I we go out with other couples a lot. There is never a time where we're going to mimic sexual positions beside our friends, unless we were into that lifestyle, which we are not.
This is true. I get it. I get it.
That's crazy. I didn't like it at all. So I just want to say, starting out, I was irritated from the beginning, because, like you said, the second piece of that is Alicia, I believe it was uncomfortable.
Yep.
And because of what she's gone through, and that is putting her in a position that's very unfair. Yeah. And I think production now OWN. So what happens is production company creates a product, they sell it. So they sold it to OWN, or they licensed it to OWN. So OWN didn't necessarily hire the production company, but OWN did license this project from that production company, and it's on the OWN network as part of OWN's programming. So to me, they have to bear the brunt of that.
Absolutely, at 1000%. Irving is it was interesting, because remember they had a issue in the beginning.
Right, that with the dancing was enough. I didn't think the dancing was bad, but this pushed it to the limit. This is Alicia and Irving.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad for her.
I hope they don't push the envelope, because there ain't nothing to do but to pull out at this point. What else you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Don't just leave it here. Hopefully we move on to something a little bit more PG,
But you're supposed to be getting to know that person on another level. So why are we not having hard conversations first? Why are we not talking about, there's a lot of different conversations that could have been sparked outside of just trying to get into nasty sexual positions.
Well, I think they were having the hard conversations. Personally, I mean.
Up chain. And the crazy thing is, so I just got home, right? I just got home literally at 8:00. So my mom was here, because my mom was having to watch Sugar Pie, trying to make her parent her puppies. And then, so it was on the TV, and my mom looks at it and she's like, "What is that?" I said, "Don't look at it. This is just what I'm watching. This is what we talk about. It's what Mo and I talk about on the show." And she was just, it was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable.
Christal be talking about that stuff. It don't be me. I just be listening.
First of all, she knows that's not true. My mom knows that's not true. You're not fooling nobody. Tina Bree said, "What in the freaky deaky freak show is going on? Freaky to freak. The freak level is too much. It's too much." How do you feel like, what do you feel about Irvin and Alicia after that situation? I feel like Alicia needs to go home.
She's I mean, I'm glad that they did wind up getting some type of counseling and talking, but the problem is she does not belong there. Like, why are you here? You're not ready for anything.
Nah.
Like, and I think it's the thing between being lonely but not wanting, and for a man, like, you want somebody understanding to something they're just finding out, and it's a process. That's why I'm glad the counselor, I forget the woman's name, pardon me, but she was trying to get both parties to understand, and especially for her to understand him. Like, he's new to this. He's to just take to it. He doesn't mean to be, it's a process for him.
Yeah.
So and she seemed to give him some grace. So we'll see how it goes. But I really don't think she belongs there.
I don't think she belongs there. I think there's two things. I don't think she belongs there. I didn't like the therapy session either, to who I did not. Noah said, could it possibly be something Alicia saw that wasn't on camera? It could be, but we could only work with what we have. And I feel like even for what we heard last week, I said, I don't think she belongs here. I think that it's two things. I think that she needs to get some help before she gets in a relationship. A lot of people jump into relationships because they don't want to deal with their stuff. So, like you say, it can be lonely, and you can feel bad. You could be hurt, and a lot of us look to another person to make us, to comfort us when we're hurt, and that's the wrong thing to do, because getting into a relationship is the worst thing to do at that time.
That's interesting you say that, because you want somebody to comfort you with your restrictions to how they comfort you.
Well, that's the second part. I don't think she likes him.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think she likes him, because I think if it was another guy that she was attracted to or she felt a chemistry with, I feel like she would have more grace.
I believe so.
I think she doesn't like him. I think the way he interacts with her, some people look good in pictures, or you are attracted to them in pictures. And when you see the way they actually talk, the way they carry themselves, the way they walk,
how short they are.
How short.
But here's the thing, though. She said something I thought was, he said something, pardon me, where at times he thought she was using that as an excuse. And I think at that point, he know she wasn't really feeling him like that.
She don't like him.
Right.
And she doesn't like him. And I think that relationships, it could be not your time to get in a relationship, but when you don't like somebody, you will be way more irritated and way more, way quicker to feel taken advantage of or pushed like that. It becomes raw, because you're not attracted to that person. Where if you are attracted to that person, you will try to do it anyway, and then end up still at the end of the day being hurt and needing to get out of it.
That part.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. No catching. She says, these shows reveal what people overlook when they like someone and what they don't have grace for when they don't.
Great point.
Facts. Very, very good. Very good. I agree with that 100%. But I think she needs to go home.
She does.
And yeah, because she Marriott says, definitely been there. I was argumentative with a guy I wasn't attracted to all day. Or I would just be super irritated. Like,
man, that is the most, when you're irritated or something like that, person can breathe, do anything, and you're just like, why?
Noah said, why are you breathing my air? That's true.
Like, that's real. You blink too loud.
Yeah. So we said, Dolly Allah, we said that Alicia needs to go home. And this is the couple that we're talking about right here, Alicia and Irving. I think she's not attracted to him. I don't know how to say that, because I don't want to sound.
Say it.
He just seems a bit sensitive, though, to me as well.
How so?
Just how he expresses himself. He seems a bit dramatic. He seems a bit dramatic. Again,
Okay.
He seems a bit dramatic to me. I understand that, you know, men need to express their emotions, and it just seems a bit dramatic.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my eyes open for that. I didn't catch that, but I'll keep my eyes open for that.
I do think she's playing in his face. I know she don't like him, but I think this is the thing. If you sense a person does not like you, a healthy person does not respond like that. You may have your feelings hurt, but yeah, he stormed off. It just feels a bit dramatic. A bit theatrical to me.
Now that you say that,
would you do that if a girl wasn't giving you the energy you want? I feel like you've dated girls that have given you that type of energy. Not that they didn't like you, but they just got issues. Has there ever been a point that you would react like that? I'm just asking.
What, storm out the room or
storm? With a huff and a puff.
Can I demonstrate it?
Please.
All right. No, I don't want to do that. That'll come.
I feel like he huffed and puffed.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Hey, Edna. Yeah, like I'm not into a guy that huffs and puffs and blows the house down. I don't like it.
Yeah, I see now. I'm gonna look back, but
Okay, May Will says, here's another opinion. I welcome all opinions. She says, I don't think he's dramatic. He's trying not to look played on TV. You see, he is not about the antics like the other guys. That's true. The other guys, let's just say tonight, which we already knew, family. We already knew EXO family. We called it. Everybody on here is playing in our face, right? But tonight, the guys just, they let us see that it was just ridiculous. Gunboss says the puppies say you and Mo is too loud. Well, first of all, the puppies need to open their eyes and get with it because their mother has moved on. Okay.
See, that's the thing. So dig this. This is the go to her point, right? So if you're a man and you're trying not to, because no matter what, it seems like it's nothing we do, but it's exorbitant that makes us masculine. But if we choose and we're taking it in, but it's eating us inside and we don't know how to respond, then it can come off like it's no proper way. If you don't say nothing, you're soft. If you do say something, you're sassy. It's like we have really nowhere to turn.
Can I offer a question?
Just to feel uncomfortable and shut up.
No, Mo, you don't have to feel uncomfortable and shut up. But is something burning you inside?
If you've been dealing with something and you're trying to figure out how to express it and someone's getting on your nerves, you don't blow up the first time and you keep taking the punch, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I give him that. I just feel like, and maybe he really cared about her.
Say it again?
Maybe he really cared about her. It just seemed like, it just feels like a lot of emotion for something that.
Shout out to all the women that are used to dudes not caring about them and walking off. Shout out to the women that do get cared about, but think the men are sassy when they react about it. God damn, we can't win.
He is a little invested. Precious says he's a little invested. Okay, so I mean, you know what? Let me go back and see how long they've been talking. Girl, you missed Consumer O. You missed a lot because they started out with a sexual position exercise that was disgusting. We did not like it.
There was a lot of grabbing and holding on to and carrying on, as the older people say.
Carrying on.
I just want to say
that. Okay, they've been dating online for 5 months.
Oh man, that ain't.
So let me ask you that again. So would you huff and puff and blow the house down? This is a girl that you've been talking to back and forth, kind of, sort of, kind of not, online for 5 months.
No, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't want to feel embarrassed on TV.
But that's how you get embarrassed, by huffing and puffing.
Yeah. What? Okay. What should he have done?
I think that for me, and I could be wrong, but I think any man or woman in that position, when you see the other person is acting like they're irritated by you all the time, the only thing that you can do is just to withdraw.
Especially,
but to do all that extra, if you really like, it'd be different if y'all were really in a real relationship. I don't think these are real relationships.
And here's the other thing: you huffing and puffing, and you ain't even hit it. Now, I'm not huffing and puffing.
Well, see, that's something that only you would think of, right?
That's a lie. Hey, at least you got a reason to huff and puff, because you might not be able to hit it no more. But I ain't huffing and puffing, and I ain't get to.
Mo had to make it make sense for him.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to justify. You ain't that's definitely uncalled for.
Are you? I mean, a woman that you have never seen before, that you're not into, they're definitely not having any intimacy. Where is the huffing and the puffing? What is the reason? In the words of Cardi B, what is the reason?
That's a good point. I can't. That's a good. I mean,
I'm just asking questions, looking for answers, asking questions. Let's move on to where we know we need to go. I want to get there and get there quick.
Oh, let's go. Damn it, man.
Kiki and Brandon.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Antoinette asked, did Mo not like the exercise? Mo said he did not.
Not for television, I did not. No, I didn't.
So you think that, okay, so say you brought a girl over, and you know how we have the little couple get-togethers. Are you cool if we be like, Mo, this time you and your girl, we're going to see who knows how to do what? Are you going to do it?
Who's my girlfriend?
The girlfriend that you brought to my house the last time.
Well, we played a game that was the verbal version of that.
But it was verbal.
And we all played it. Let's get to that.
It was verbal. It was verbal.
We played a verbal game that was, it might have been more dangerous than that.
So you would do it with her?
If everybody else.
Okay, so you're right, Antoinette. Mo had no problem with the game. It's just Christal.
No, I had a problem doing the game on television, and I had a problem on the game because it was too early. Like, build it up. It was the second episode, correct?
The third.
I told you I didn't have a problem if it was later down, but it's too close.
I didn't like it. I don't like it, period. And to someone who asked earlier, what was Taronda wearing?
I'm glad. Thank you. I forgot all about that, and I was going to text you. About that shit. What was that? And did you approve?
Now you know good and damn well. I can't even, you know good and damn well I did not approve of that. I don't know what the hell that was. And at this point, I feel like her wardrobe stylist is playing in our face.
Yeah, what was that get up?
Not sure about that.
As soon as I seen it, I was like, oh, Christal not gonna approve of this one.
And that was not, Hey You There said foreplay the board game. That was not even foreplay the board game. That was,
I don't know. Christal bought some nasty game out.
It was not a nasty game.
It was definitely a nasty game.
First of all, you have these people thinking that I am promoting nasty games, and that's not true. I have to defend myself. No, it is not. It was not a nasty game. It was a game that asked people questions about their relationship to answer. And some of the questions were about You know, the emotional, some about the spiritual, and some were about the physical.
Ooh, you are remixing this story up, boy. There's people in the LBC, and it was one of them things. Shout out to everybody there. We had a good time.
It was I have the game here. I'll bring it next week. It wasn't 21 questions. It's a board game that somebody gave me.
And when you do that,
no, a card game. I'm sorry, a card game.
Let's do that. Let's do a virtual version here, and let's do that and ask the guests. That would be fun.
Let's do that next Wednesday.
I like that. Let's
okay, cool. So y'all get a chance to play the game and see if it was a nasty game, because I don't play nasty games.
You are.
That is not true. That is not true.
Whatever.
I'll redeem myself next Wednesday.
Whatever. Let's get it.
So, all right. So let's get into
Kiki and Brandon.
Kiki. Oh my God. All right, I'm just gonna start it out. Brandon, Nola. I gotta stop looking at the chat. Y'all get me distracted. That is a tie, and we know that. We've talked about it before. She's saying that that's a bad, a phallic symbol in my background, but it's not. Kiki and Brandon. Brandon does not like Kiki, and that is where all this is coming from. I think he does not like her. I think that she's insecure. That is the book cover. She knows that. She's just messing with me. Hey, you there? Nola's messing with me. No, Brandon does not like her because to me, if all these mentions, the funny thing about it, all these mentions of liquor, everybody else has a wine glass in front of them at all times, which is crazy to me. It's like you're talking about her drinking, the other guys saying they understand. And she did get a little, I think she's tipsy because she's insecure being there. I feel like that's what it is. Even when she didn't feel well, because if a guy likes you when you don't feel well, he will want to go make sure you're okay. He was just irritated with her. He does not like her.
Because of the drinking.
You really think it's because of the drinking?
I do. And there's a backstory that he's not going in. Maybe he has somebody that he loves dearly, family, whomever, that went through that, and it's triggering for him, and he's seeing the same traits in her, and he's feeling away.
So you think a person that would I'm not gonna say that.
No, please say it.
A person that would not want you drinking a lot, would they be okay with you eating a lot?
Well, I think the only reason I would say it's slightly different.
What's up? Thank you, Precious. I'm saying, like, come on.
What name did you just say?
Tamasha.
No, the other name.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said Precious. To me.
That's all. That is all you. I did say Precious because Precious Elaine is here.
But you said it right there. Anyway, I believe that. Listen, if your actions after you're drinking, I think that was the cause of that.
What actions did you see that were? And he brought this up last week when we didn't see any actions. What actions did you see that would have required him to act like this?
I don't, and once again, we don't know what was off with the camera caught, so on and so forth, right?
No.
Yes.
What actions did you see? What was the reason?
Listen, it might raise a high blood pressure. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I don't want to count him out because I know where you're going. It's the fetish thing, and that's all he cares.
I don't think he likes her. It doesn't matter. I don't think that Alicia likes Irving. I think some people just aren't going to like some people. It doesn't matter what size you are, how short, how tall, how skinny, nothing. Sometimes you're just not going to like the other person. He does not like her. Dolly Olive said he probably could smell it on her from the first date. She was falling over, oversleeping, and not helping. Antoinette said the way she fell on that couch.
Listen, I'm trying to be professional. Listen.
Y'all are messing with Mo. I'm not messing with none of y'all. I mean, Antoinette, no.
I just think it could be several things. And I'm not saying that you're not true, because I believe it could be some of it. But now it's just downright her feeling the way after drinking. If anything, I don't like how she got her pants all the way on her stomach like that. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of pants over stomachs.
Would you rather they be under?
That's a good point. I don't know if that size you're supposed to go over or under. Anyway, I really think that it was her actions. And I guarantee you there's a lot of stuff on the cutting floor that we haven't got a chance to see.
We can only talk about, he does not like high waist. But I will say high waist is a bad idea for most of us. We don't need you to testify.
It's the high waist thing is tricky. I ain't gonna hold you.
It is. But I agree with you. He never regarded her feelings even before the drink. That's the thing. You guys remember when they were taking pictures last week and she did not want to take pictures in the lingerie? And that is the only time, in my opinion, that he acted like he liked her, is when he was taking pictures of her in the lingerie. That's it. That's it. He is not, he talks well, but he was very.
So why be concerned? Why be concerned then?
Why be concerned about what?
Why is he concerned about her drinking then?
I don't think he's concerned. I think he's looking for reasons to not like her.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I think he does not like her. He's trying to be controlling. I agree with you, Amanda. Brandon, Tamasha says Brandon seemed nice when he's treated nice, but when he's mad, her weight gonna be an issue. Like after the drinking, he gonna move to her weight. Exactly. I'm telling y'all, it's only a matter of time. He's judging how many alcohol glasses he has. He's gonna start talking about the dessert.
Well, okay. That's fair. I get that, and I can see that going in that direction.
Yeah, okay. He's controlling. I was laughing when he looked out the window and saw her outside and not upstairs or helping him cook.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought that shit was funny too.
Yeah.
How did you miss her?
Mo?
Kiki, and I ain't gonna lie, the thing about Kiki I do like is that Kiki is not interrupting him. She sits there and takes it. And then
that's not a good sign because her self-esteem is not good.
No, and she sits there.
She needs to hang out with me.
Continue. I'm not.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Mo.
Why did she?
I hate you. I just feel like I would help her be able to talk back.
Okay.
I don't believe in.
Now that I give you that, but something tells me on the ride back home, you're gonna stop something.
Forget you. That's mean. That's mean of you to say. He is so mean. That is so mean.
I got this about.
The Gotham boss.
Anyway, I got real tears in my eyes. That's okay. Here's the thing.
No.
If
Are you saying that I'm a snacker?
I'm not saying nothing, but I notice whenever we talk to each other on the phone, we either coming from somewhere.
You're such an asshole. You're an asshole. That's not true.
Here's my conversation with Christal. Hey, Mo, what we talking to be like, hold on for a minute. Let me get okay, listen, I want to stay focused. I'm sorry. Oh God, I got tears in my eyes. I do think he has a fetish. I don't think that it's just that. I think he was open, but I really do think there's stuff that we didn't get to see. And I think even like with her, let's say it was their turn. This is the part I think that was unfair. It was each week or whatever it is, it's a couple's turn to cook dinner, correct?
Yes.
So when it became her turn, first of all, I was curious why everybody else was in there in the first place. And then
because the last week the other couples were not in there.
They kicked everybody out.
Yeah, they did. But maybe that was old dude because he was serious about his meal.
And this is what he does. So I get that. But then here it goes. And Kiki asked the girl, could she, I guess, some type of noodles? Could you boil it? Can you put it in? Can then drain it? So on and so forth. I'm going to go upstairs for a minute. I'll be back. Kiki got up there and fell out. Got sick or whatever she did. They told homeboy, they told Brandon. Brandon goes there to come to her aid. Now, he did grill her. He did grill her. And come to find out, she was drinking or whatever. Is this in result of you drinking? And they had the conversation. But the inconsiderate part was her not coming back down and going outside. You're supposed to be here. You outside. And they're like, yeah. She's outside. Then to add insult to injury, when it's time to do everybody's cooked ate, she did not help with the dishes. Come on, man.
Now that is definitely something that every man would have a problem with. I feel like it made him feel, I think that could have definitely turned him off, but I really do feel like he didn't like her. And he's not into her anyway.
Or he was done at that point either way.
How you going to be done if you really like somebody? They've been talking for 4 years. I think it's 4 years. Let me make sure.
Yeah, please do. Because I didn't know it was that long.
Yes, 4 years.
Oh, damn. 4
years. Somebody that doesn't help cook.
Can you tell partner, what is that? Teamwork skills through conversation?
I mean,
seems lazy.
That's what I was gonna say. I think he might have felt like she was lazy.
That's the energy I got.
That is what came across. But then I think she's super, super, super hey, African Astan. I think she's super insecure, and I just think she's super insecure. Yeah. I don't think that she does not cook, and I also think that she knows that she should have did that. That was a weird choice. But yeah,
you don't think that was also a bad part?
You said what?
She was very nonchalant with it.
I don't think she was trying to be nonchalant. I think it read nonchalant, but I think she did, because I feel like she's very insecure, and she was feeling insecure and shame, embarrassment. I agree, Tamasha. I think she's very insecure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's reasonable. I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. But she said with her out of her own mouth that she was feeling a little bit insecure about if he would be attracted to her or not. And then it's true, Dolly Alice said she also has this secret that she's living with her boyfriend. She don't belong on the show.
Oh, okay, so take both of those, the insecurity, living with a boyfriend, which hasn't come out yet, and then let's go back to the Kama Sutra situation. Yep, they were the first ones out there.
Yeah, that is true. Because I was worried for her.
Man, I think everybody's eyes was on that. I didn't know how.
You know what? I'm gonna get you back for saying that I snack. And you didn't even say I was a snacker. You said I was eating all the time. Tamasha
said when we talk on the phone, sometimes
because I'm driving and I'm coming home. I have a house to take care of, and sometimes I'm getting stuff for Adrian.
I didn't hear that on the request list, but okay.
Yes, you did, because I was ordering his food.
Anyway, don't get me wrong. I do hear that on occasion. I do hear that. It's 50-50.
Tamasha says her mother passed. That's the root of her drinking, and her boyfriend and her got a trauma bond. That's definitely could be true.
She passed 20 years ago.
I mean, I think the girl got problems. And I think anytime you're with a man that you're not sure is attracted to you, that does a lot for a woman's self-esteem. That's rough.
But I mean, we're feeling sorry for a woman that's holding back a lot. They got something to tell.
That's true. Well, I guess I don't really feel bad for him because I don't think he really likes her.
And that's fair too. So no, yeah. So okay.
I think that's why I don't really care about. But if he was a genuine dude, then I would be like, she wrong. But I don't feel like he's genuine. Okay. And her ex, she can't stay with him because obviously that's a problem. Obviously that's not right, you know?
True.
Edna says Kiki was drinking hard liquor, tequila and vodka. That is a lot.
That's a bad, listen.
That's a bad combination.
You think she's doing that because of the lie?
I don't think the lie, but I do think because of the insecurity.
Or the combination. So okay, I'm not mad at that. I mean, yeah. I get it, but she's only doing damage to herself at this point.
Yeah, she is. She needs to leave. They need to leave.
I thought he was going to, and if he goes out the next episode, I get it. I'm like, he's gone. I said that the first time. I said
he was honest. I don't think he's playing. I think he has the fetish, but I don't think he's playing games like some of these people that we're going to talk about in just a minute.
So why would he be dishonest about everything else but that then?
What do you mean?
Why would he, if it just be a fetish, even though you're saying it's still being dishonest? So if it was just a fetish, why would he be dishonest about that and honest about everything else?
I think he's just over it. I think he's over it. That's why I think he's over it. I think that because again, when you like somebody for a fetish, it's not genuine. So you don't have you don't have any compassion.
Okay.
I wonder that too, Edna. She says Kiki's boyfriend gonna watch this show. How do these this is why we know that we're being played with. We know that Owen is playing with us.
Right.
We know. Tamasha says when drinkers drink heavy, it's because she's pushing down a lot. It's personal and soul bearing for her. She's young, so she's doing it young-ish with it. That's true. That's true. I agree. Did you guys see the Megan Thee Stallion documentary? I think I talked about that on my other show. Hold on, Edna. Megan said she was drinking a lot because of the pain with her mom, right? And hey, Marvin, she said she was drinking a lot. She said that she was not dealing with her issue. She was just drinking. I think a lot of people do that.
I'm not buying that.
Why?
I'm not buying that because after it came out in the Gayle King interview and it came back, she lied. I think that's PR. She doubles back. They put out a documentary to try to clean up some stuff. I'm not.
Well, I mean, two things can be true.
I'm not. I mean,
anybody that loses, come on now, you gotta have some empathy, Mo. She lost her mom.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it. I lost my mom, but everything that I do wrong, I can't blame it on that. I'm not going for it. I mean, I get it, and because of the fact of what happened, and it's not what happened, and Tory loses the case and he goes to jail. It's what came out afterwards about Megan contradicting herself. She wasn't messing with him. When it came out, she did.
That's totally different, though.
But
I'm just saying her acting out and being promiscuous and being the I'm sorry, y'all. The promiscuity and the acting out with the drinking, I do think I think that is because of the pain and not knowing what to do. And you can't say that a person you can't dictate how a person takes their pain. You can't do that.
No, you can't, but it's just like you're so conscious of everything else. And it's only reflective when something bad happens. And then it's like, well, it's a year later, 2 years later. Now all of a sudden, I just
think we have to be careful about these are true. These are point of views and not facts. But I think we have to be careful about, saying that someone's pain should not cause them to react a certain way.
No, I get that. But I think when people don't want to be accountable for their actions or the stuff that they're doing, sometimes they dig back and say, well, this is the reason. But you were so conscious of everything else up until that point.
That can be true. Two things can be true. That can be true, but we still, just because we don't know, it's kind of hard to say, I know that's not it. It could say that seems because I see people do it like, that I talked about the housewives and how there's some ridiculous stuff happening. And well, I was triggered. Well, you have to be accountable for what you do that's wrong. But you can have self-medication. A lot of people do that when they're dealing with something that's difficult.
And I get it. And you hear people, even though a lot of those people crying out during the process, whether it's a DMX or something like that. And but when you have somebody that fights tooth and nail about a lie that they told, and now when it comes out that they did lie, and it's 2 years later,
yeah,
and a hit since you ain't got none of that, then everything changes. And it's like, because of that, well, I would have maybe accepted that then, or when it was happening in real time or immediately afterwards. But when people weren't on your side and they turned against you because you said you weren't in a relationship and didn't have whatever intimacy with this man, then they come to find out you did, No,
I get it, but I wasn't really speaking about the case. I was just talking about her basically drinking and having wild behavior. And in relation to Kiki. But I agree with you there saying, making sure your explanation is not your excuse. Your explanation cannot be an excuse. I agree.
Maybe that's
Antoinette says first she was drinking to have fun. Then after passing out on the couch, she told Tatiana and not Brandon that she was drinking because her mom passed. That did feel a little bit like a sympathy play. I will admit that. It did.
And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but
you already are. But no, I mean, But this is the thing, and I agree 100% with Antoinette. But I also think she doesn't feel comfortable with him. I feel like Tatiana said they have a connection. And so I feel like she felt comfortable. So I'm just a person that doesn't believe in ever saying that somebody is not. I would rather, back off than to be like, that's not true or you're not hurt. That I don't know when her mom passed. I don't remember her saying exactly when. But if she said something like that, even if it's not true, I just feel like it's hard that you can't say that she's lying because we don't know. But what I do know is that she don't feel comfortable with Brandon, and that to me was made clear when they had the first date with the photo shoot, and she tried to tell him she said I don't. She was not bold. She was very passive. I don't want to do it.
And maybe, and I think that's where the signals get crossed between men and women sometimes. But okay, and I'm glad you said that. So, and no means no, right?
Yes.
No matter how they say it. And maybe he should have respected that and just chill. Now, the other side of that is,
he should have.
Talk about her acceptance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be accepted. And maybe she just said the soft no and did it anyway because she didn't want to get rejected. And that's not right either. And at that point, I'm thinking now, okay, there is a self-esteem issue. And a lot of times with people with self-esteem issues is instead of rocking the boat, they go with the flow just to be accepted.
I think that happens a lot, especially with people, especially because she said that she was insecure about it from the beginning. So with us, and I would say this, men do not have any idea how many women do things they don't want to do because they don't want to be rejected. I guarantee you, if we were in a room and not virtual, the number of women in this chat that have done something that they did not really want to do because they did not want to lose the guy his attention or his affection or the possibility with him would be astronomical.
So how do we okay, this is a good discussion. So between men and women, how do we fix that? Because at one point, if he says it again and she does it, how's he supposed to read that other than, I mean, my answer is no means no the first time and don't try again. But obviously there's some brothers that are persistent. And we also hear women say, I've heard women say, I want a man that's persistent. So this is where these brothers get.
Persistent means to continue to pursue me, not to force me to do something I told you I don't want to do. That's two different things.
Okay.
So when we're talking about persistent, that's in the pursuit. So that means I don't want a man that says, and consistent, true, is the real word. But I have heard guys say you want someone that doesn't give up easily, but that's not talking about intimacy.
Oh, okay.
It's talking about you prove to me that you want to be with me, right? If I say I'll go out with you, follow up immediately with a date. And I told you, the reason that I knew Adrian was the one is because he was persistent in his pursuit. He was never, ever persistent when I did not want to do something or felt uncomfortable.
That's what I'm just trying to get at, because I don't think.
But that to me is a huge problem. And it's I think this is really important because I think a lot of women, you ask how do we fix that?
Yeah.
How do we fix that? In my opinion, how we fix it is we teach women to love themselves enough to speak up, even if it's going to make the man leave them alone. We have to teach our daughters to have enough pride and value in themselves that even if you say no, I don't feel comfortable taking these pictures, and he leaves, you understand that it is not your loss. It is not a loss at all. It is the way it ought to be. And he has removed himself from the line of men that lead to you're the right one. We need to teach women to be comfortable and confident. And you're right. We need to teach men, hey, you there, to teach men not to unalive women when we say no. That's true, but that's another level. And I don't think I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the men that think pushing a little harder to get what they want is not abuse. And it is abuse.
But no, I'm glad you said that. And I think more guys need to really understand that. And because I think if one time it happens in whatever it is, it gets hot and heavy in whatever situation, intimacy, and it goes a little further than she wants to. And whether she physically moves her hand or verbally says no, respect that and leave that alone. It's not to restart. And then
right, that part. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Well, she'll change her mind.
Yeah.
First no, is there anything after the first no is violation?
And I would say, I would go a step further. I would tell my son, at the first time the girl says no, remove yourself from the situation. If she continues and tries to keep playing with you, leave that girl alone, because that girl is dangerous.
See, I'm glad you said that. I told you when I kicked that girl out my anyway. But yes, I got on that, and I just felt I had more power, and I felt that I was, even if they didn't like it, they respected me for saying whatever it is that I needed to say.
Girl, no, so the guy told her in high school, no means no. And there are men that say no too. There are men that do things because.
I did. I said no a couple times. But then when I said no, it came across as something else. Then I had to explain that.
When did you say no, Mo?
I said no when listen, I didn't say, well, it's not like they touched me and I was like, no. It wasn't like that.
Have you had, let me ask you, Mo. Mo?
Yes.
Has anyone ever touched you when you said no?
I moved in a way where I let them know I was uncomfortable. Or I had a situation where me and a woman went out and she was intoxicated. I let her sleep in my bed. I slept on the couch. I let her out the next morning. I went about my business. But then she thought something was wrong with me and told other people. In this town, in Atlanta, which I live in Atlanta, Georgia, you know, saying no to a woman can come off looking like something else. And we ain't even talked about that.
Thank you, Tina. We have not. We will. We will. You know what? I do need to start those back, Tina. I do. I miss doing those. And I've had a few people tell me that. Thank you for that. But I agree with Lola. If she says that, let her say that, because that's just a woman's pride, not wanting to admit that he could just not be that into you.
Yeah, and they don't believe it.
We don't. I mean, I do, but a lot of women don't.
They don't believe it. And then there's something.
But I think it's important for women not to play games. So if you mean no, say no, mean it, and remove yourself from the situation.
No, I'm not going to hug you naked in my bed after you told me we can't not do nothing.
That's true. That's true.
And then that's the one I wound up putting out. Not because of that, because she challenged me on that, and then I put her out.
You like telling the story about you kicking a woman out.
I do. I kicked her out twice. I do.
She came back?
She came back, and I kicked her out again because she said some other slick shit. Then I kicked the other girl out because she broke my toilet and lied about it.
What did you say to her, Mo? I'll just take the bait.
Which one?
The one that broke the toilet.
We came in from having a good time drinking, playing pool, actually. And in my subdivision where I lived at the time, she was swerving in and out.
She was a drunkard?
I was like, yo, chill. Because we got in her car, and she was like, you scary. She was driving, pulled up, came in the house. I went in my room. She went to the bathroom, and she was in there for quite a long time. So long, I forgot, because I heard a boom. A thump, should I say. I don't want to exaggerate. I heard a thump. And I ain't think nothing of it. And we about to get to do what we about to do. And I go to the bathroom. The top toilet lid is ripped off the hinges.
Oh.
And I'm like, yo, I come back. I'm like, yo, what did you? And she's like, I didn't do nothing. And that was it. And then I just got mad and I told her to get out. I was like, yo, get out, get the F out. And I put her out, and she got in her car. She left.
Has she been drinking when you put her in the car, Mo?
When I smelled it on her when she pulled up.
But I'm saying you kicking her out, she could have unalived herself.
No, she could have, because she hit the medium in the highway going, and she had 2 flat tires, and she was calling me. And then I finally checked the voicemail, and she was like, "Can you help me? I she said, I got a suspended license. I'm on the side of the road. I got 2 flat tires. I hit the medium.
This story keeps getting worse and worse.
And I did not help her, blocked her. I didn't, and that was the end of that. God bless her. I'm pretty sure she was out. That was a long time ago.
Was it back in the 1990s or the 2000s?
Oh, it was about 2008, something like that.
It was the early 2000s. Hey, you there. Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry for that story.
Let's get to the guys playing games.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to the guys playing games.
And who would you? Oh, yeah. There we go.
Jared and Charlie. Jared ain't ish. Now, Charlie ain't ish either. No.
No. You're right.
Both of them. And as I always tell you, fair exchange is no robbery.
Thank you for saying
that. Charlie, for those that don't remember, Charlie lied about having 4 children. She said she had 2. Not only did she not tell him she had 4, but one is a 1-month-old. And then when he tried to ask her to talk about it, she said, let's don't think about it right now. Let's just keep having fun. So in essence, she kind of created the monster that she has.
There you go. But what do you do at that point? What do you?
I will tell you, but I still feel like he doesn't have character worth a damn, because how you act in a hard time or a bad situation tells me a lot about your character. So for him being like, I'm gonna lie and just hit it, on camera,
he did
is
say,
wild.
The man did say this.
He did on camera, and he giggled. I don't know if he don't have a mom. To me, that tells me that you weren't taught. You don't have any type of character. There's no character there.
Yeah, let me have character to the woman that also doesn't have character.
No, you have character regardless.
No, that's a good point. So let me ask you this. So he's in this situation, and you and I had this conversation when I tell you there's some guys that don't see nothing in women, so they just try to look for what's there that is good and just use that part of it. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what he's doing.
But I'm saying how he's carrying himself. We've had men on here that have been on reality shows, right?
Yes.
And the ones that have any lick of sense, as my granny would say, they will come on here and they will say, well, I don't want to look, I have a mom, I have a daughter, I have aunts. I don't want to come on here and disrespect women because my mom would say something. There have been men who acted up, who was like, my mom was up, my mom is watching. This fool is unconcerned.
Maybe he's an orphan. I don't know, but he is unconcerned and he don't care. And you can only respect the respect. Well, you can respect people even though they're not respectable.
No. You don't have to respect them, but you have to respect yourself.
Ooh, say it again.
I said you don't have to respect them. I'm not even talking about him respecting Charlie. I'm talking about him respecting himself. Him laughing and dapping up the other guys is disrespectful to himself.
But what I will say is the reason why I'm glad that was shown, because that happens more times than you think. And that happens to a lot of guys that a lot of these women praise. And I'll be like, y'all don't really that, because what you saw is how a lot of guys really talk.
I believe it.
Yeah, and they praise these other guys and they think that they're hating on the guy. No, they just know that ain't how he really talks. He's only talking that way in front of you.
Right. Most people would not talk like that on national television, on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
That's when you know it's bad. You're even talking like that on TV.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you on the other side, I don't feel bad for her because she told us what we know about her. She lied about having all these children. She has a 1-month-old and she's focused on being on a reality show. That's a problem. And she said her favorite emoji was an eggplant. Girl, you have had enough eggplant. Why are you? And that tells me that she don't have an accountability situation either. I wish I would say my favorite emoji is an eggplant with Jacqueline Jordan living on this planet or Vivian Johnson not living on this planet. Are you kidding me? Why would you say that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I feel like she's and someone they've been talking for 4 years, but I feel like the conversation has been about physicality and getting it popping, right? So that's how he sees her. But the thing about it that men don't understand, when you use a woman like that and you feel good about it, you laugh about it, then when you meet a woman who's a good woman, you really don't know how to treat her because you have no experience, sir. You don't really know how to do it.
I don't know about that part.
I do.
First part, I don't know about the second part.
I do. I stand on that. Because I know a lot of guys that are not. I know one right now dealing with all them girls doing like that. Got a good girl, and he did not. He fumbled because your character is going to come through. How can you have bad character but switch it according to the person? In the words of Jay-Z, you are who you were before you got here. You can try to change it, but that's just the top layer.
Different people bring different results, man.
But you got to have some character to even be able to do that, though.
That part.
Yeah, I'm not. I doubt all her children are by the same man, Edna, because she just had one month ago, and then there's one that's like 17, right?
I don't think so. I think, and I'm just reaching, but the reason why she never mentioned the other ones before is because she technically does not have them. She spoke on the one that she did have.
She did not speak on the 1-month-old that she just birthed.
And then that came out. But the rest of them, the reason why she didn't speak about the other two is because she don't have them.
You can go 9 months without telling somebody.
And let's be clear, he did the same thing.
He did. I'm saying both of them. Both of them. I have no empathy for both of them. They both are playing in our face and are unserious. I feel, but I'm just saying, like, let's don't act like he's just doing that and he's a person of high moral standard and he's only doing this because of her. No, he just ain't ish himself.
We have another issue that's similar.
What?
With another party there. Couple, pardon me. You know what I'm talking about?
Speak on it.
Remember, there's another guy. Make sure. Which name is it? Is it Clay and Tatiana?
Clay, yeah, Clay has the baby.
Yeah, and this man had ample time to tell her because it came out and she heard something, and then he was poolside.
Yep.
Derek. He had an opportunity. She's like, I heard something that you said you didn't want to tell me. And here was this time, and this man, he wasn't being an adult. He wasn't being a man. He wasn't being stand up.
He's there for games as well.
And I'm like, dog, are you that much of a coward to not?
And she, she's a woman that I think she's definitely going to leave him alone immediately. Their personalities don't even match to me. Yeah, their personalities don't match at all.
I wasn't mad at that. I didn't necessarily. I don't know if I saw that. Even they were winning a lot in the games. It was. I think he was just holding back. But that brother did. Dog, it was twice. That's not the first time he had the opportunity to say.
Yeah, that's what this is. This episode. Last episode when everything came out with everybody else at the table.
No,
dun, dun, dun.
You need to tell me. He didn't say nothing.
Didn't say, yeah.
Boom room.
Yeah, they sure did. They sure did.
Come on,
They
man.
sure did. I'm gonna tell you guys right. The only couple that I even really think have any chance is these two here.
Cinco and Jay.
Jay. I like them. And I think like the more we see them, like I think people would have assumed because he's like a basketball player.
You don't like Ty and Brittany?
Today I feel like from the clip that we saw with Ty, I was on the fence about him. And the clip that I see about him for next week, I'm on the fence.
Him not being serious?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's serious.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so. Okay. But yeah, I like the two of them. I like Cinco and Jay. That's what it says, all that public booty massaging from Clay. And I'm it's taking me out that y'all keep doing his whole name. Clabacia, that is wild that is his name. That is a wild name. Clabacia. Tina says, I was shocked that Kiki saw what her guy wrote on paper. I was not shocked because, you know, I think girls are sneakier than guys, so I'm not shocked that she saw it. I want to know who else besides Brandon and Jared put no. What do you guys think?
Well, we know Brandon did.
Yeah, obviously I said Brandon and Jared. Can I tell you who I think?
Please.
Chris.
And Alexis? Yeah. Now you said, yeah.
You remember last week with the stop and the...
Yeah, I didn't even think, yeah.
And even how he was doing tonight with the sex exercise.
Yeah. You're right. Answer her. Think about that, but you're right. That's the other that's the other one. Because it was 4 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris out. Hell no. He said it when they were talking outside.
You see how fast Brandon walked up from Kiki after they did the thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know why Chris and Alexis are there. I don't know why any of these people are here.
Like I said, I'm not mad at Jay and Cinco.
Yeah, I like them. Not the only part. The only other couple I was thinking was Ty and Tatiana, but I was on the fence. But this is Ty and Tatiana.
Yeah, no, it's Ty and Brittany.
Brittany, I'm sorry, yeah, Brittany. Tatiana is with Clay.
Clay, yeah.
Yeah, Ty and Brittany. I like her. I like Brittany. I'm just on the fence about Ty.
I like Brittany and I like Tatiana. I think both of those they're in for disappointments, but these guys ain't who they think they are.
Not are they unable to self-eliminate? No, but everybody wants to stay on TV as long as possible.
Hey, but here's the thing. If you walk out, the other party has to go, correct?
Yeah, that's how you did last season.
Right, that's what
last season, if you left. I did like the question game where they answer yes or no to with Precious. I do, and I think that is a better, to me, that type of exercise makes more sense than the physical stuff. Daliala says Chris is so long and fine and country sounding. I want him to stay. I liked him much better on Ready to Love.
I ain't gonna lie, he sounds a little slow on this than he did on other things.
It just don't seem like a good fit. It seemed like he's just trying to do TV.
But here's the thing with Alexis. It seems like, I'm gonna be wrong, she was very she was working with him. I would say that. But at certain point she comes off like. At some point he comes off like he doesn't like her, and then it's flip flops.
I think he comes off like he's not really into her,
Right.
and she comes off like he should be grateful to have her presence. Like she.
There you go.
That's what it comes out to. Like you know, you better be like you should know that you lucky to have me. He does talk like he's reading a script. He talks like he's here trying to do TV.
That part.
And even if you want to be an actor, then I need it to be good acting.
That's where it comes off slow to me. And I'm like, why is he talking like that?
Yeah, that's what, because somebody say sound like he's reading a script.
Right.
I liked him a lot better on Ready to Love.
It flowed more natural, correct?
It did. He made more sense. I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens. It gets up. What gets ties, panties in a bunch next week?
Time break. Oh Lord.
The huffing and the puffing. I hope it ain't no huffing and puffing. Because I didn't like the huffing and puffing. He does talk slow. That's the Mississippi in him.
You know what? That's annoying. I work with somebody that talks slow. And I'd be like,
I do too. But I used to speak a lot faster than I do. There's Chris and Alexis. I don't like these pictures. These pictures are not good promo shots.
They are not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our assessment for tonight. What are you looking forward to next week?
It seemed like the showdown. We got who we got?
Clay has got to get busted next week.
You think?
It's got to come out.
Well, it is. That's what, like, I'm just curious on how he did it. And, I mean, we see she doesn't like it, but I'm just curious on how, because it was so many opportunities. I ain't going to say so many. It were two, and he didn't take them.
No, but it was also the conversation with the guys, with them kind of joking and stuff. It just makes me feel like a lot of them are not serious, or just there's a lot of unseriousness, right? And that makes him seem unserious, especially because, like you said, they spent that time in the boom boom room. It's all night, ain't nobody around. You should have definitely come clean at that point.
Especially if you hit. If you hit.
That's true. That is true.
That's violent.
Oh, I was supposed to give you the OnlyFans photos. Was I? Did I say I was doing that?
Do what?
To give the OnlyFans photos of Chris. I said if it came all the way out.
Yeah. Easy, y'all. Don't easy.
Come on now.
Easy.
We'll see what happens next week. But there were some pictures that I saw.
Oh, and I had people like, "Yo, I was like, did you see a video or something?" They saw the same thing we saw. So
yeah, I didn't like it, but I mean, it was just pictures. But yeah, I think that Clay needs to come clean. I don't want to see no more Kiki and Brandon. I want to see an exit interview with the therapist or something, and them to go. And hopefully Alicia will go, and Irving can just go as well.
There you go. And I need Kiki to wear a long shirt.
I'm with Edna. I think she's a very attractive girl. I just think that when you have to, I think that all of us as women should learn to wear clothes that complement our body types. And that means that if you have certain things that are, just learn to complement your body type. You don't have to wear tight clothes. Tight clothes, usually for most body types, tight is not the way to go. I see you just waiting.
Who?
You waiting for me to say something that you can just
go that way. I'm just saying I agree with you. So, we just gotta be a little bit more, and I don't want to, like, to each his own. I get it. I'm just saying to get the less confidence in. I understand the insecurities, but when you do stuff like that, people tend to think that you are secure, and it might send the wrong message.
It does. I'm not gonna say that. It does, and I think that's not the case. But I think sometimes we're just trying to. I think that a lot of women just need a good mentor, a big sister, someone to pull you to the side and say, baby girl, this would be good on you, because everybody has good points and bad points. You know, I have very short legs, almost none at all. I don't need, so I can't wear a skirt with a long slit. I can't do it. Now, if I was, a tall woman, like a 5'7", 5'8", then I had, nice legs, that would be, but that's not my thing. That doesn't work with me. You have to know your body. And I'm not saying that she should wear anything in specific, but definitely not like super tight and revealing. Like, I don't think that looks good on anyone, especially on television. The camera is not kind to things. Yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think we should, charm and etiquette are important for women.
For everybody, it's not just women.
Yeah, that's true for men as well, but yeah, because there's a lot of men that don't dress for their body types. These old men wearing skinny pants, it's not good. With a belly, with hips, with very skinny legs and fat thighs, it's not good. It's not good.
Comes to mind. This is hilarious. Okay.
All right, so we are out of here. Everybody, we want you to enjoy your Easter holiday.
Yes. Happy Good Friday, everyone, by the way.
Yes, happy Good Friday. Please enjoy your holiday. We will be tapping in next week. So on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about somebody's son. So during Dating Diaries.
Good thing for the game.
And the game. Yeah, remind me to bring the game, because I have the game. The game is here. So we'll do that, and we'll talk about somebody's son. And you guys enjoy your Easter holiday. Enjoy family, friends, whoever you're with. Even if it's yourself, just take some time out to really enjoy yourself and be thankful for what you have. I think that's what the holiday is all about, embrace, just being grateful to God for what he's done for us, regardless of what that is. So yes, we love you guys for watching. I have a entire cowboy event tomorrow. My boots are going to be on the ground. My boots are going to be on the ground tomorrow. So I will be posting that. So look out for that. I'll be back on Monday with Grace and Gossip. Mo and I will both be back on Wednesday with Dating Diaries. And make sure that you check out Somebody's Son and tune in for the dating game. All right?
Weird.
We love y'all. Happy Passover. Happy Resurrection Sunday. All of that. Thank you, Edna. Love you guys.
Go to the weekend, y'all.